Namaskar everyone. I am Dr Vishal Saxena. Happy New Year to everyone for a very prosperous 2026 from my side, my guest side, as well as from the Zena family. Today, in this world, everybody speaks about education because our education system is something which has evolved through the time, starting from the time when there were gurukuls, then it became classrooms. From blackboard, it became digital board, and then from school bags, we came into tablets. So now the time is changing, evolving very gradually, but at a very fast pace. Students have to keep in pace with the current world. Today, we all are talking about artificial intelligence. We all know about emotional intelligence. We know about intelligence which is above mind body. We have intelligence also in the spiritual world. Well, what do you call it? Intelligence takes care of our entire thought process. But artificial intelligence is the new buzzword in today's world, which has very recently come into picture, but it has disrupted, or it has evolved, or it is taking care of the students that we have to see. So today, to discuss this topic, artificial intelligence, we have with us Mr. Neti Srnivasan. I would like everyone to welcome Mr. Neti Srinivasan. Neti Srinivasan sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. My pleasure.
I would like to give a two-line introduction of yours. Then I would prefer that if you could introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Sure.
Neti Srinivasan Sahab brings education to a different level. He has created a balance between education system, and he has worked in the education system for a long time, and he has introduced too many things related to education system. And I would like to hear from Mr. Srinivasan how was his journey, because he has also seen from blackboard to whiteboards and artificial intelligence. So over to you, Niti Sahab. Please tell us your journey.
Thank you, Vishalji. Absolute pleasure to be here. And again, like you mentioned, Happy New Year to everyone. Now, I have been in education for close to 15 years now, which is school education. And, overall, if I were to look at education as a whole, I was doing skill education for about 3 years. So it's a total of about almost 18 odd years that I've been here. And I've seen vast, dramatic changes in the entire landscape. Like you correctly pointed out, we gradually transitioned out from whiteboards or blackboards and chalk and blackboard into digital boards. Okay, which actually, while it was a disruption, it kind of maintained the hierarchy and relationship between a teacher and a student. It went off all right. But a couple of things happened during this time which sort of changed the entire balance. And the first one was just the rapid expansion of the internet. In the olden times, we were taught by a teacher and our knowledge was limited to what the teacher knew or whatever the books he or she had access to.
Right.
Now with the introduction of internet as it came up, suddenly the resources were available to everybody. It became agnostic whether you're a student or a parent or a teacher or anybody. Everybody had access to the same set of resources, and oftentimes because the kids who are younger are, as we call them, digital natives, they had access to a lot more material, whether they had access or not, but they definitely went around for it.
Correct.
Teachers were limited by, I need to prepare the curriculum, I need to go with this, and they were saddled by the old ways of doing things. So I think that was a big change that we saw. What we are seeing now, and what we're going to discuss, is I think it's a tectonic shift actually, and we have to be prepared for it, and it's going to impact the entire world. Doesn't matter where you are, it's going to impact metros, it's going to impact rural areas, it's going to impact every country that there is. And I think this is something where the school needs to take a quick initiative. Students and parents need to take a quick initiative. The government at a policy level needs to take a quick initiative, because it can be, as we correctly mentioned it, it can be a boon. It can be a boon for us to leapfrog into the future. It has the ability to provide a clear pathway to a really fast growth, and which is why we need to understand it. I mean, it's, as of now, the nature of the beast is not known to everybody. In fact, we know very little about it, and it's evolving almost on a daily basis. But we need to start acting now. I think that's what it is.
That means, in other words, we as a parent has to be prepared for it. Teachers have to be prepared, and the students also. That is what
Yes,
you would like to say.
yes, very
Preparation
much.
as what? For the parents, because see, now the students and the children who are at current situation, they are, for them AI is a normal thing.
Huh.
Correct, because they have come in that particular age where AI is very normal thing. But for us, where everything was not easily available, then
Yes,
it became available,
yes.
and now it is on the press of a just a button. You give your whatever the prompt you give, and you get all the details. So, do we have to say that AI is basically going to be like a library or a research data which is to be understood, or how it is?
It is much more. It is much more. So, I'll give you two or three examples of
Correct.
what it can do. First, we need to understand that AI is, it's not a magic bullet, it's not a magic software, it's not something which will answer everything that you want and will solve all your problems. It will not. It is limited by, in classic computeries, it's called GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, So it is
Okay.
going to be limited by whatever has been fed into it. And these are what are called large language models, because over time, a lot of data, transactions, etc. are fed into it, and that is what creates the brain of the AI system. Now, to your
Okay.
question, you said how is it going to impact the students, parents, teachers, everything? Yes, it's going to impact it quite significantly actually, and it already is. Even at this point of time, it's impacting them quite a bit. So, the best use case of an AI bot is that it has the ability to be hyper personalized. Now, let me explain that a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Now, when you're in a classroom, a teacher is teaching 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes even 60 students, right? But the teacher has one way of teaching, she has a style. Now, kids who
Hmm.
can align themselves to this style of teaching, all is well. But the kids who can't will switch off after a little while. So they may be physically present, they may have their eyes open, but their mind is elsewhere. So if you actually see a classroom at any point of time, and I've experienced this in multiple classrooms, rural, urban, everywhere, there are 5 or 6 kids who are fully attentive. Okay, there are 5 or 6 kids who are backbenchers who've switched off completely, and there's a middle portion which is trying to do their best to stay in tune, waiting for the bell
Hmm.
to ring. AI can, if you're able to create these bots, and people are creating those bots, it can completely align itself to a child's style of learning. Same lesson, 30 kids, 30 computers learning in 30 different ways at different paces. Now imagine the impact this can have on kids who are neurodivergent. They have a completely different way of learning. Now they're not
Hmm.
stupid, they're extra sharp actually, they're almost at genius level. But the way we teach them, they tend to switch off. Okay, I think
Correct.
that is going to be fantastic. It is hyper personalized, it's adaptive, it is level appropriate, and it is infinitely patient. Okay, you can ask the same question 100 times and it will answer you in 100 different ways. You want to, it will show you a video, it will show you a diagram, it will give you a text, it will give you audio. So it will adapt itself to the child's way of learning. I think that's fantastic. Second thing is that the teacher's efficiency can be improved, it can be magnified unbelievably. So most often we find that we give the same quiz to the 30 kids in the classroom, but 30 kids are at a different level of learning. Now we can actually create 30 different quizzes adapted to the child. Okay, now imagine the impact that it can have, and we can get the analysis instantly. So the learning experience becomes much richer, the assessment experience becomes much better, everything is there. Now there are of course downsides.
Yeah.
Academic integrity being the biggest one. Okay, now the kid can actually generate an essay, he can generate a solution, he can create code, he can everything without understanding it. Without
Correct.
understanding. Here's a question, here's an answer given. Now that's really not serving the purpose of education. Second thing is, if it becomes a crutch, and we should make sure that it does not become a crutch, it will translate into very shallow thinking. Kid will only say, here's a question, here's an answer, I've done it, it's over. Okay. And over reliance on an AI bot can impact and weaken critical thinking, which is what actually transitions a child from where he is to what he should be. It will impact his productivity, it will impact his writing fluency, it will impact everything. He should not become lazy. That's something that we must protect ourselves from. The third thing is in terms of the data safety and bias. Now we need to have the right policies and everything to make sure that the child's data is protected, the child is protected in every which way. So I think these are some ways that it can really impact learning.
So I would like to ask one more question. Like
Yes.
now, when the child, see, we'll talk about ourselves only. We'll come to the
Yes,
children.
of course, yeah.
See, when we were into our school days, college days, and we were like, if you have to talk about, we have to speak till 2015, 2016, 2020, we used to write things
Yes,
on a piece
yes,
of paper and
yes,
we used to get it across the table for somebody
yes,
to understand.
yes.
And in the meantime, the people who got used to computers, we forgot our spellings, we forgot our punctuations.
Yeah,
All
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So red line, okay, now you have to change the spellings. For comma, even if we knew, but we used to go full on writing our details and
Yes.
thinking, okay, the computer will prompt and it will tell us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now with this particular artificial intelligence, whether it is a boon or a bane, but that is what we are going to decide today.
Yes.
But how shallow, yes, children will be there. But this shallowness, will it develop brain properly or it will somewhere affect the brain and thinking process also? Because everything is on fingertips.
Yeah. 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 It
Then
is going to impact. It is going to impact their thinking process, which is why the way we teach has to change. I mean, no longer, for example, can we ask define nitrogen cycle, for example. It becomes irrelevant. It becomes irrelevant because the kid will go. He can even go to a Google or something and put something and give it, right? We need to ask questions which are more application based. How will it impact agriculture in some place? So he needs to think. Even if he goes to AI and asks some questions, he'll read a little, he'll understand a little. So it's there. And now just imagine the impact of hundreds and thousands of kids across the country, coming out with shallow thinking. They may get fantastic marks, but if they don't have the ability to think critically, then they're not going to be able to solve real life problems. I think that's what's going to impact. Yeah.
so in other manner, like suppose now we have to look into the risk and the opportunities.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
you can say if it is not handled properly, opportunities will slowly taken over by risk factors, or
yes.
it will be other way around.
No, 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 no. It is. See, we need to understand that kids will follow what we tell them. The kind of structure that we create for them, and the kind of opportunities that we give to them. It is incumbent upon the school and the system to make sure that the kid does not lose out on his ability to think critically, his ability to collaborate, his ability to research, because those are going to be the real skills which he is going to use in the future. So if we take the easy way out and allow the child to do whatever he or she wants, then it's going to be difficult. We have to put guardrails. We really have to put guardrails. He needs to understand. There have to be policies around it. Teachers need to understand it, parents need to understand it, and children, of course, have to understand it. Now, this is no longer, in the earlier times we could tell them something and we make, they would have to follow it. Now, no longer so. It's not just the school. They have access to it at home. They probably have mobile phones. They have, gadgets at home. So everything is kind of easily available. So the system has become a lot more amorphous, and therefore it becomes a lot more difficult for the school, for and even the system, to make sure that these are followed in properly. But we have to do it now. We don't have an option. We have to do it now. Yeah.
See, if I give you an example of ours,
Yeah.
see, before what had happened, when if you see our parents were there, they used to calculate a mathematics like this. One line, calculate totally, and they used to give an answer to us. Okay. Then when we came on the dining table usually, or when you are eating, your father or a mother will show ask you a table. What does 4 and 4 makes? What does 5 and
Yeah.
5 makes?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
do not know, you had it. Yeah, correct, sir.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then calculators were introduced, and we came into because we have seen all these phases, so we can be easily discussing all these phases also. And when the
Yes.
calculator came into picture, we thought of let's use calculators. And today, even if we know the additions and subtractions, even if we go to a place where you say, okay, 4 plus 4 is 8, we'll still use a calculator,
Correct.
although we are right. So
Correct.
same thing, even if a child who wants to develop himself in particular education system, let's talk about K-12 education system.
Yeah.
How will this child basically will look into it? Because see, there are children who are very intelligent, who will be very much reading it and applying it and doing the notes. And there are children who will be taking care of AI in graphs, in formats, and everything, and giving a presentation.
Yeah.
So now today world, they look more into presentation,
Yes.
correct, than actual knowledge. Bullet points.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Correct, sir. So how that K-12 education will go about?
So, I really don't know how it will go about, but I can tell you how it should go about.
Okay.
The thing is that we have an opportunity now to transition from, basic transfer of a body of knowledge to a student,
Mm-hmm.
transition to help him think. There's this whole word called metacognition,
Okay.
which is learning how to learn. And uh, all the stakeholders will be sort of critical to this: the teacher, the student, the parent, as well as the school. It is important for us because this, you asked me, a very basic question, because we need to look at two things: what are we going to teach, and how are we going to teach it? Importantly, how are we going to teach it? The old ways of doing it, I mean, look, we've seen situations, maybe 20, 25 years ago, when there was a book, you learn the whole book almost by heart. You know that all the questions are going to come within that. You go, there's a question, you answer it, and you're done with it. And it sort of worked at that point of time. Now it's not going to be so. Okay, even the way
Correct.
you assess the student, even the way you assess the student is going to change. So the teacher cannot be a person who's just delivering content. So, CBSE or ICSE, anybody is going to give a syllabus, you got to go way beyond that. You need to design the learning for every child separately. Okay? You're almost designing a learning experience for them.
Mm.
The teaching is going to be built around, like earlier on, you teach a concept, give some questions, give the answers, it's all done. Now it's going to be more on projects. It's going to be, what is he learned? Okay, if this happens, what happens? There'll be discussions, there'll be interactions, there'll be an ability to see whether he's able to apply that knowledge. There's
Mm-hmm.
this whole concept of learning ladder of, made by Benjamin Bloom, where he learns from, ability to understand, finally to do what is called critical thinking. Can you take two separate concepts, figure out, they work together, and what happens? We will have to gradually move up into that. And that is, what's called higher order thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to help the child understand critical thinking, understand creativity, understand how to collaborate amongst themselves. And most importantly, understand that there are ethics involved in the use of AI and the whole concept of digital citizenship, sort of will come into play. So this is going to become very important in terms of how you basically teach. Now this also impacts the kind of teachers there are. It's not
Correct.
easy, right? Unless you have the right kind of teachers who are able to understand it and translate it. The otherwise the whole learning in the classroom will sort of fall way behind. So it brings up a lot of questions. Yeah.
So from the institutions, schools, everything have to rewrite the entire from syllabus systems to their prospectus to everything that what they are trying to give to the students and the students before students the parents will come and ask them what are
Yes.
you going to give
Yes.
it to us.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
school has to undergo total change of entire what you call
Transformation.
transformation of entire education's way of thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And now, fortunately or unfortunately, whatever it is, we don't have a choice. We don't have a
That is so
choice
true.
because obviously there are going to be progressive schools which understand this, which adapt to this well, have the resources to do it, and will be able to transform the students. Now, the schools which don't have this or don't adopt this or are late in the whole game, there will be a huge polarization again. There'll be there'll be the kids who are way ahead of others. There'll be kids who are not there, and it's kind of not a fair system in that sense of the word.
In the sense, if you see that metropolitan school will be faring much better than these state capitals, and then you come to the other levels. Because see, if you have to see, a lot of schools in last 5 6 years they have adapted digital whiteboards
Yeah, yeah,
currently, right? They were basically gradually, and then they were scoring good marks also because they were adapting, and the children started to go to schools in the smaller cities or
yes,
towns or villages, you can say. But now with this AI again, okay, Wi-Fi is everywhere available and everybody is there. But again, there will be two different polarization between a school, A class school and BC. Again, the standardization will come.
correct, correct, correct. So such a critical point that you touched upon.
Hmm.
Metros have a head start. I mean, we can't deny it. Okay,
Hmm.
they have the bandwidth, they have probably the resources. Most of the technology is first implemented out there. Digital curricula exists, AI tutors exist, connectivity is there, better devices are there, everything is there. So they will obviously be ahead in this game. But very interestingly, as far as AI is concerned, it can be a huge leveler if the infrastructure and policy are handled well. Okay, now policies of course is a state matter, but infrastructure in terms of availability of devices, availability of bandwidth, and more than that, availability of the knowledge. In the smaller towns, people don't know what's available, whereas it's no longer difficult to actually provide it. Now, it has been seen that AI can actually be a language agnostic tool. Right now the English medium schools win over
Hmm.
because there's so much material available out there. But AI can level that to a very, very large extent. Now, AI assisted teaching platforms, if they're implemented in remote schools, just imagine the impact that they can have. Okay,
Hmm.
and it can improve outcomes, and importantly it can narrow the gaps. The polarization that we spoke about can actually reduce hugely. So it is, it's it again, it's a boon or bane. If we can
Hmm.
do it. I mean, this tool, if you were to see telecom, there was a time in
Hmm.
'95, India's telephone density was less than 1%.
Correct.
Okay. And if he had gone by the same way of laying lines and going by this landline kind of a phone, we may not have gotten to where we are. Now our telephone density is like it's unimaginable. Everybody has a phone now.
Not
Everybody
one,
has
two,
two
three they
phones.
have. Two or
Everybody
three
has
they
two
have.
phones, and it's been a digital revolution because we were able to leapfrog over that whole area. In
Hmm.
fact, the mobile phone density in India was ahead of several Western nations, several European nations, because, we made the best of it. AI can do the same. AI can do the same, but of course we need to act, and we need to act fast, and we need to act well. So it sort of is
What
all
about
there.
the What about the see? As you were talking about, teachers have to be equipped well.
Yeah.
So, what are few things that teachers should also understand? Because see, the teachers who are in their fifties, they are in the old school teachers. Then there's teachers between 35 and 50. They're
Yes.
and they're just trying to they just started learning gadgets. They are improving themselves. Then they are a teacher after they should be around like 30 to 35. These are the new teachers who are coming after having proper degree and education certifications and everything. So now the teachers who are in 50s,
Yeah.
like as you cross 50 for them, learning computers was very nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now with AI, the prompting is very important for them.
Critical. Very critical.
So,
Yes.
so the government should have certain plan or system in place for training those teachers, a teacher training program separately for teachers who are 40 and above, so that they can understand the AI,
Very
the
much.
prompting
Very
part.
much. Very much. So this whole AI literacy drive,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is something that needs to take root across the nation, width, depth, to the sort of smallest place. But here is a fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
This need not be done in a face-to-face manner. There are
Okay.
so many programs which are available. We can create apps
Mm-hmm.
and make sure they're made available. See, if we were to see banking 15, 20 years ago, you had to go to a bank, go to a teller, give the check and get your money and all of those things, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
everything is mobile banking. So almost,
Yeah, yeah.
everybody has been forced to get onto that. So whether
Correct.
you're in your 40s or 50s or whatever, you have a mobile phone, you know how to use it, you know what an app is, everything is available. Okay. And now with the hype that AI has gotten over so many years, everybody is aware of what it is. Importantly, you know, we need to do two things. First is there is the natural fear of stepping into this whole tech enabled space, which is AI. There has to be a way of overcoming that.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is, if they learn the very basics, what is generative AI? Prompting, like you said. Prompting is the key to AI. Give the right prompt, you'll get the right answer. And understanding that, an AI can hallucinate, it has bias, it has all of these things. But, it has to be done. Now, teachers who are probably early, mid 20s or early 30s or 40s, they'll take to it much faster. They'll obviously take to it much faster. But it becomes all the more important when we are doing this to reinvest in the skills that AI cannot replicate. See, in a classroom, the most important thing is if a child is not
Definitely.
feeling safe, if a child is not feeling safe, some parts of his brain will switch off. He will not learn. So
Correct.
it's important, getting the whole concept of empathy. Unless there is empathy in the classroom, so creating the culture, you know, ensuring that they are mentoring the students properly, and all these skills AI cannot give, but these are important. Ability to question, ability to facilitate discussions, giving nuanced feedback. All of these, building formative assessments, creating metacognition. These are what are going to be very important for a teacher to, in fact, far more important now because kids are going to be on screen quite a bit. So that's important. The third part, we spoke about AI, is an ability to co-design with AI. AI can reduce grunt work for teachers like unbelievably. But if we teach them and understand it, but AI can also give out junk. You use the wrong prompt, it will also give out junk. So it's important for us to train the teachers in terms of what is right, what is wrong. Intrinsically, they know because they've been in the profession for multiple years, so they can actually reduce their workload using this. So they have to use their professional judgment. They understand the curricular requirements much better than everybody else. But AI gives him a much richer template to work upon: stories, diagrams, analogies, representations, PPTs, pictures, videos, everything are then available to them. So if you can do that, it's going to be important. Now, to your question of if somebody is in their 50s or maybe late 50s or something, doesn't want to learn, yeah, I don't know whether there is an opportunity, whether they can afford to do that anymore because the kids are changing, right? Gen Z and Gen Alpha is so different from the previous generation. Gen Beta, is probably going to be far more different than what we can even imagine. So as a teacher, you have to adapt. Yeah.
Well, more things are like now when the children see, and I'm talking about the confidence level.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
correct. One thing is there, everything is on the fingertips. You press prompt and you get the answers.
Yeah.
And now suppose the confidence level of the child. I'm talking about that because the confidence level comes from the knowledge which you already acquire by
Yes.
learning through it. And now suppose what will happen to the confidence? Suppose a child is there. Because see, from nursery till the time it reaches standard 4 or grade 4, the child has to struggle to normal pen and paper. The
Yes.
primary teacher is very important. That time I'm telling you A, B, C, D and writing sentences and all.
Correct.
Now these children are well, they have a teacher along with them. Even AI cannot replace those education system where telling how to hold a hand and write
Absolutely.
A, B and
Yeah.
C. But
Yeah.
now after that happens the stage time where the child has to stand in for a debate. They have to do a presentation after standing in.
Yeah.
So this AI, when it is there, that okay, now when you are writing something from your own thought process, what you have learned from the library books and everything, you
Yeah.
make a script of your own and you
Correct.
are confident enough to speak. And here you have to mug up.
Yeah.
So will it affect the confidence level of the children in the later? See, school, okay, they can do it, but when they come to the competitive world,
Yeah.
where they have to sit for an interview, written,
Yes.
all okay, written. Will
Yes.
it be a problem for them?
It can be. It can be. However, AI
Mm-hmm.
is so non-judgment. Oftentimes, if there's a class of 30 students,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes and more often than not, a lot of children don't speak up because in their mind they're thinking, this is a stupid question. People are going to laugh at me. People are going to judge me, and all of those things. AI removes that entirely. So they can ask whatever they want to. The system is not judging them. They're just not judging them. So we have seen that, uh, you know, in a classroom there are 5 or 6 kids who are absolutely quiet and introverted and you don't speak and everything. They sort of flower in a tech environment because
Yes.
their hang-ups are gone. Their hang-ups are gone. So they learn a lot about it. Now to your second part of your question, which is, when you're sitting in front of a live person who's interviewing you, you don't have AI,
Mm-hmm.
then it's really important to figure out what is your actual depth, you know.
Correct.
So AI can help you in some ways. Obviously, it can help you prepare for the interview better. It can tell you potential questions that are going to come. It can give you potential answers that you have. It can clear all your doubts in areas like that. Now, to your point that when a child had to do the research on his own, go to the library book, write this few notes, he was so engaged and so involved that whatever is written, it's almost in his mind. He knows. If you ask him, he can answer that because it is internalized. So this whole process of internalization is an issue. It will be an issue because now he's begun to use prompts, instead of actually reading up about it. If he gives a prompt and actually reads up about it, it's still good. Now, and this is where the depth of knowledge will come in, because if the child is writing a prompt, copying and pasting it into his answer script, then we've lost the purpose, and there is a real danger of that. And this is
Okay.
where the ecosystem, the student, the teacher, and the policies that we build are going to come into place, and importantly, how we are assessing the student. It can no longer be defined this or write this or all of those things. Application based. So the child actually has to understand what it is. But yeah, I mean, good question.
So the real intelligence will be a big
Yeah, yeah.
challenge for the upcoming children.
Possibly, yes, possibly.
Possibly.
It can be. It can be, yeah.
Because see, like answering things on a digital is okay. Introvert child is there. Okay, people will see. Okay, even now, if the children, the teachers have to be a bit thoughtful before answering the questions of the children because they have to be very clear. If the teacher says something wrong, even the parents. If
Yeah,
teacher says
yeah,
something, parents will also check on the AI and see, this is the right
yeah,
answer.
yeah,
What did
yeah,
your teacher teach you?
yeah,
So
yeah.
parents will be have to be updated because they have to sit with the children.
Correct.
But The children, as such, they have to show their intelligence. That they have to feel the paper. I think so. If they have to go into real intelligence level, because when you go in a high, because suppose a person, AI student, gradually comes up and becomes an engineer, and now when he become an engineer, he can draft a design faster.
Yes.
He can give the all the combinations and formulas, and design will be there on the, but his own way of designing it with a pencil, and a civil engineer suppose designing, or a mechanical engineer designing a part, or a doctor telling something about things, it will have to be a bit more understood in depth, where real intelligence will be there. What
Absolutely.
I think. The
Absolutely.
entrance examination, when they sit, AI will not be there with them.
No, it won't be there. It won't be there. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, which is why this whole human thinking skills that you're talking about,
Hmm.
ability to, critically think and problem solve.
Hmm.
These kids will have to develop that. Otherwise, they will fall behind. you know
So,
they need to kind of understand what the output is and ability to read that output.
hmm.
They can't take that output at face value. They have to check
Hmm.
evidence, they have to compare sources, they have to make reasoned decisions based on that. They cannot accept AI answers at face value, especially we're seeing so much of hallucination, right? So
Hmm.
they have to basically understand that. And it should also not impact their ability to generate original ideas.
Yes,
I think that's an area we shouldn't
that is
lose
very
out,
important.
because then everybody is going to become a copy of each other.
Hmm.
So this is something that we'll have to teach them, that AI, use it as a stimulus. It is not a substitute. It is not a
Hmm.
crutch. It is a
That
tool.
is the right.
It is a tool. Especially if you're writing, like you correctly said, write your original thought. Write your original thought, because that will make sure you're different. Design your own stuff. Do a lot of research. And these require a lot of mental energy. These require a lot of effort. And it's difficult to sort of push kids into that. I've seen several notebooks where the kid has not written. He says, I know the answers. I
Hmm.
know the answers. Exam में आएगा मैं लिख दूंगा. But taking a pen to paper activates different parts of your brain, so it's important for the children to write. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
So because see, I have seen like nowadays, I was visiting one first gentleman, and I had asked him certain things. So first, what he wrote was very perfect, and then suddenly he copy pasted, took the copy and pasted on ChatGPT, and whatever was written there, he started telling us that. I said, why don't you give us your original reply, what you have given to us, rather than going to the what ChatGPT has written. No, 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 this is grammatically okay. This is punctuation okay. I said, not really. It is not sure that punctuation and grammar should be okay. It is
Yeah.
written from his own mind and thought process. And I have
Yes.
seen somewhere like people, they post certain digital things where there's a mismatch. Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, currently if we read something with a spelling mistake, we can easily understand, oh, this is a spelling mistake. But I have seen there are certain areas where words, suddenly the spelling was mistake is there. But the children has not seen that. They would have seen that, but AI has written it should be right.
Correct.
Taken for
Correct.
granted is also going for that also.
Absolutely. So this whole aspect that you brought about, which is called discernment, now we are bombarded with information left, right, center, up, down, everywhere, and we don't know what is real, what is generated by AI. So his
Mm-hmm.
ability to filter the signal from noise, I think that's an intelligence which he will have to develop, he or she will have to develop. This whole discernment is, he needs to make sure that, okay, this is right and this is wrong, because facts are everywhere, but he has to be able to apply his judgment. His intelligence will translate into what to trust, what to question, what to ignore, what to remove, what to keep. Otherwise, there'll just be data overload. It's not even information overload, and he will not be able to transition into wisdom, which is important for us.
Then one basic phrase which we used to hear is going to totally change. The one phrase what we used to hear, don't watch TV so much, your eyes will spoil. Don't watch this thing, you will have an issue. Now the
Yeah.
screen timing of the children will increase. So that is
Yes.
again going to be like pilots will be less 6 by 6. will be less because 6 by 6 eyesight will be less. So screen time will have an issue with the children also. I think so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yes, see, screen time definitely has a direct impact on physical and mental well-being. And
Mm-hmm.
will it impact them negatively? Uncontrolled screen time, yes. It is a valid concern, and everybody agrees that it's a valid concern. Now, the impact will be, it will depend on how it is managed. It's important, okay? Now, prolonged screen time creates issues in terms of posture, in terms of eye strain, in terms of physical activity, in terms of sleep disruption, and just in terms of switching off. You become an
Correct.
automaton. It impacts your emotional well-being. Because then you tend to transition into recreational screen time,
Hmm.
just playing games unlimited. 3 hours, 4 hours, binging on it, and
Mm-hmm.
it impacts anxiety, reduces your self-control. It has all of those things.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Some kids work with multiple screens, two screens going
Uh-huh.
together. Yeah, yeah. Lots of them. एक में game चल रहा है, एक में काम चल रहा है, एक में ये चल रहा है, etc.
Uh-huh. The one screen they are playing, as you correctly said, some they are where they are reading, and the other side they are just playing a
Yeah,
game, maybe something.
yeah.
Okay, then again comes out because the focus time is reducing for them, but screen time is perfect. Focus
Yes,
time has
yes,
reduced a lot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what this is exactly the point. Quality matters more than quantity. We have to limit screen time appropriately. We have to do that. The educational screen time, if it is along with the human interaction, teacher guided,
Mm-hmm.
parent, or it has a neutral or positive effect. It works, okay? And the downsides on mental health are very, very limited. Whereas if a kid is doing passive entertainment,
Correct.
then it is bad. So there is whole thing about 1 to 2 hours of educational balanced activities, is fine, and it has to be, I'd say, supported with a lot of non-screen activities. He has to play. He has to get some
Hmm.
sunlight. He has to interact socially with other kids,
Uh-huh.
not on a mobile phone. All that is going to become far more important now, because the dependency on the screen is only going to increase. Whether we like it, don't like it, it's going to happen. So schools will have to do something. They'll have to figure out a balance. They'll have to create boundaries. They'll have to limit recreational screen time. Get parents as partners. They may have to enforce something called device-free zone, device-free time. All those
Correct.
things. Okay, and they may have to do, okay, every 10 minutes get up and stretch. As simple as that.
Hmm.
Every 15 minutes, look out. See something green, blink your eyes. All of those things. So,
Because blinking
so
of eyes is going to affect them a lot. They will be like so only they will be
yeah,
looking
yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 exactly. So this digital hygiene that we talk about, screen breaks, blinking your eyes, stretching, posture, blue light filters, reducing fatigue, all of those things are actually going to become very important. So we, like, one of the things that you spoke about was transforming the entire way of educating, right? This is, we'll have to do as part of this. वो तो करना ही पड़ेगा.
Uh,
So, but there is a way to do it. There's a way to limit
mhm.
the screen time, make sure that it's right, it enhances learning without sacrificing health. It is difficult, of course, but we'll have to get into that. It has to be intentional, balanced use of screen time. But yeah,
Yes. One more thing, sir, because AI has now developed so many softwares and apps
yes, yes.
where the voice
Ah,
is basically you just speak a phrase and then AI picks up and then they start speaking in your own, the person voice you want also. So
yes.
children can learn cyberbullying also.
Oh, cyberbullying has increased.
Because see, today if you see like a lot of that arrests are happening in the home arrest and something with the cyber crime is going up. So cyber bullies for the children will become very easy. They will
Yeah,
just say, okay, teacher says I want to speak to you about to your father. Both of ma'ams, he will speak on phone. They
yeah,
record the father voice,
yeah, yeah,
put
yeah.
it there.
Deep fake,
Cyberbullying.
huh? Exactly. So even without AI, cyberbullying was happening, because see,
Haha.
kids when they become 12, 13, वो puberty hit करता है तो individualism आ जाता है. वो bullying is just a natural phase.
Listen, I'll just tell you here. So that bullying was we were using a brain how to bully. See, today, even if you have to do some bullying, you have to use your brain and then bully the teacher or maybe the people around you. But now, that brain we are not using. We are using an app.
या सो ये जो डिजिटल एनोनिमिटी हो जाता है, सी फर्स्ट थिंग इज इफ आई नो कि मैं तो पकड़ा ही नहीं जाऊंगा,
Ah,
then you know the self-imposed limits that I've created, they'll become much broader. I'll start doing
correct.
worse kind of things. It can magnify this whole aspect of cyberbullying. It can become more sophisticated. It can become far more damaging. So right now we see, for example, deep fakes, synthetic abuse. You correctly pointed out, you can create such a realistic fake, you know, entity which will look like you, which will feel like you, which will speak like you. You can create a video,
Mhm.
okay, and it's very hard to disprove them, because at a school level, what are you going to do? It can create emotional trauma. It can harm reputations. It can really create, for the kid, it can be really horrible. The psychological impact is just unbelievable, because the victim is going to feel utterly powerless. Okay, and it has been seen, reports have shown, surveys have shown that they've seen deep fakes at school, because let's understand, children are very sharp. वो बना लेंगे 2 मिनट में, 5 मिनट में बना लेंगे. So now, is there a way to absolutely prevent it? No. We'll have to teach parents, we'll have to teach students, we'll have to teach teachers, the whole ecosystem. The first thing is digital citizenship. Understanding the concept of consent, deepfake risks, what is ethical use of AI. So every school will have to have its policy explicitly. Kids will have to understand it. They'll have to sign it. If caught, there'll have to be very severe consequences. And as much as possible, the tech will have to work in and make sure that any risky image generators which are there are stopped. It has to be monitored. Where are kids going? Firewalls have to be put up. So that will have to be done. It's something that all schools will have to do. A very, very explicit, very strong AI policy. Second thing will have to be in terms of detection and response. If found, the consequences have to be very severe. At times, even maybe a zero tolerance policy, because one example will teach 100 others.
Correct.
Anonymous tip lines follow. The children will have to have a way to voice it out. This is happening to me. Okay, then partnerships with the parents, and if needed, there'll have to be legal recourse, and we'll have to foster a safe reporting culture. It's important, and it's become far more important now, because AI, it amplifies this worst part of it, anonymity. But then we have to get proactive, ensure digital literacy is there, tech safeguards we'll have to build in, and very, very swift response. Otherwise, this can go downhill really fast. This can go downhill really fast, because you bully somebody, that guy will come back, he'll bully 5 others, and then it's going to become it's going to.
So basically, what now I think is key, like what is my thought, because after speaking to you, there should be a school for parents also now.
Arey, what an important point.
See,
Absolutely, yes.
because what I was thinking just with after discussing with you, like
Oh,
parents, everywhere students, children, college students, they all will be ready.
oh, oh,
But there should be a school sort of a thing, जैसे कहते हैं प्रौढ़ शिक्षा,
oh.
like that, where the parents after their like office hours, or there should be a corporate training for parents to be taught about how to handle their children in this AI world.
नहीं, नॉट जस्ट दिस सर, वो पेरेंट वर्कशॉप्स तो बहुत ही क्रिटिकल है, बहुत ही क्रिटिकल
चलो
है.
मैं शुरू करता हूँ
बिकॉज,
अभी.
हाँ,
मैं
नहीं
शुरू करता
नहीं
हूँ.
नहीं नहीं, सच में, क्योंकि very honestly, parents don't know how to handle the kids anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm, of course, making a very general, sweeping statement, but to a large extent, parents are also at a loss.
Parents
Because
and grandparents both.
parents and grandparents or be further, because the kid has, differing personalities. Something in front of the parents and everything is okay, but वो अपना कंप्यूटर खोल के कुछ अलग ही बन जाता है. So,
Ah,
and it's important for us to tell him, no, this is not the right path. You get caught, and it's not. So parents. First of all, they have to develop the ability to have very open conversations with their children. They have to, build awareness without fear. And ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ हुआ तो I will throw you out of the house or also this kind of things. And also, if a child is reporting something, he needs to be praised. It's important. It's important. Okay. Second thing is, at home they need to create some rules. A lot of homes have this thing कि लैपटॉप लेके तुम रूम में नहीं बैठ सकते, तुम you have to sit in the open so that it's visible. They need to tell them कि understand what is deep fake, what is not, what is fake, what is not. Do some reverse image search कि सच है कि नहीं है. And at least till a certain age, they have to be able to monitor their social apps without invading privacy. So some sort of healthy online behavior has to be taught. And for that, like you correctly said, parents have to learn. And then this whole collaboration with the school, partnering on workshops and tip lines and all of those things have to be done. So it's a, it's a difficult area zone that we're getting into, but we need
Sir,
to.
I'll just tell you, I have a question again here. See, we are talking about parents who are asking their children to sit in a room and then they will keep monitor. But we are the parents, like not now the parents who are going to pay and the parents whose children are in the school, they basically are work from home.
Yes, 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 yes,
Correct. So
yes,
when they are work from home, they want their own place, not to
yes,
disturb.
correct.
So that is also not going to work much for the children, I think so, because children are
Yeah,
parents
yeah,
in their
yeah.
room. Let's be
Exactly.
parents have closed the door, they will close the door.
Exactly.
And then we can say,
Also, sir, अभी तो ऐसे apps हैं कि on the screen there'll be something, but the kid
uh-huh.
is working on the corner on something else entirely. उनको पता भी नहीं चल दिखेगा भी नहीं. So it is fairly sophisticated. So it has to be, if we build a culture of trust, and this to be trust between the student and the school, school and the parent, parent and the child, everything, parent and teacher, it'll have to be done. वो अभी मतलब necessity हो गया.
Trust to sir, AI से ज़्यादा trusted है because see, I'll just tell you about
हाँ,
children also. I have
yes,
seen people who are in 50s and 16s. You tell anything to them, immediately they on their phone will go to
yes, yes,
and check on the AI. What is that? Is the right answer, and then they will be sitting that way, but
yes,
hidingly
yes,
they will be
yes.
doing the chat GPT and looking at you. Acha, okay, oh, he's telling the right thing. That I have seen for the elders also,
Okay.
not only children.
Okay.
Elders also
Now,
fall into
they
that.
don't understand that ChatGPT में जो डला है या किसी में perplexity में जो भी डला है, that is a whole body of knowledge. उसमें bias भी है, perception भी है, right भी है, wrong भी है, वो hallucinate भी करता है, हमें पता नहीं, वो okay, it's all there. But yeah, now it has become the go-to place for mentoring, go-to place for advice, go-to place for research, go-to place for everything. To a large extent, it's okay. But this is what I was talking about, that अपना critical thinking क्यों खोना? Why it is important for us to make sure that children are not losing their ability to think
Yeah, for
critically,
sure.
apply.
Not children, parents also, sir, nowadays.
तो अभी like we spoke about, parents को पहले करना पड़ेगा अब तो
Ah,
and then it requires effort, requires mental effort, it is difficult, it is inconvenient, it is so many things. But really, if we don't invest in it now, then the problem, I think, is likely to become much better, much bigger.
because surface knowledge is going to take over the depth knowledge.
Yes, 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 yes. Imagine if it happens at a whole country level, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, and imagine what if the opposite happens. What if we become a country of deep thinkers and ability to, we can conquer the world. We have that opportunity.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that is what, like, I just thought, like, okay, we have to, because sir, I'll just tell you, because there are certain things, as you said, there has to be a decorum,
Yes.
and this decorum, not that if I have to see that way, because of the families now being a nucleus family, so usme decorum is big question mark also, because parents are out
Yes.
to office or
Yes.
they work from the home.
Yes.
Children, they come back by 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
2 to 5 is their time, and parents are stuck in traffic. The 2 to evening 9-10 is their time in metropolitan city.
Yeah.
Okay, and so parents have to be like, now parents are basically, for the children they're putting cameras. What my child is doing, and I've seen, and then they are monitoring their children what they have been doing. So that, as you would have read, that book called 1984 by George Orwell, where Big
Yeah, Big
Brother is
Brother.
watching you.
Big Brother is watching you. Yeah, yeah. Well,
So that
Big Brother is
was
watching us whether we know it or not. वो तो अब reality हो ही गया. Correct.
so lot of decorum in terms of trust have to be taught. It will not be developed anymore because
Yeah.
trust is now AI, not the parents, not the teachers.
Yes, yes. And we'll
So
have to relearn that whole process of developing trust. We'll have to retrain. We'll have to re-examine all our beliefs. It's a difficult process. Yeah.
So, like it is very nicely the what we are discussing is a nice flow. But yes, we have certain time limits also. But yes, I will surely come back to you because I have certain more questions for you. I'll surely come back to you for a second session where AI decorum for the parents,
Sure, of course. Very
because that
important.
is very important. Because the children are okay, but AI decorum for the parents to understand how to go around this so that they do not lose out on the trust, the belief system, the thought process, and the intellect. Because every child, the intellect what to develop, it is going to be developed. If you do
Yes,
not develop, it will not be developed.
yes,
We will
yes.
surely come. Asha, now, as we are coming to a close, I have my rapid fire
Okay,
series, which
okay,
I would like to ask you,
sure.
and you have to give me answers. Send me, sir.
Before your rapid fire, I just want to give a disclaimer that everything that I've spoken about are my personal points of view.
Yes, sir. You should just discourage because see, sir, our chat show is heart to heart chat show
Bus, bus.
where we are just talking to each other, whether we are not biased
Yeah,
with AI or not boon
correct.
or we are looking into it because we are just trying to understand. We are not talking about technology at all.
Yeah, we're sharing
We will be
perspectives.
following the same technology, but yes, with the technology, how to develop ourselves in a much better way.
Got it.
So it
Sure.
is that very straight and simple. Our discussion is only on a healthy level. Technology will be there. We cannot stop it.
Absolutely.
Technology will be there. How to understand the technology, implement it in a day-to-day life, and how to take care of it in whatever level you are on, from children to grandparents. We are
Absolutely.
covering everything. Right, sir?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
disclaimers are there, and we are not biased at all. And that is how we have to be there. So now, sir, are you ready for the rapid fire, sir?
Yes, yes, very much. Yeah.
AI in one word.
Tool.
Tool. Biggest myth in AI education.
Silver bullet.
One thing school must stop doing immediately.
Banning. Should not ban. They should not ban it.
Okay.
Should not ban it.
They should basically bring a decorum for that rather than
Yes.
banning it.
Yes. Correctly. Yeah. Yeah.
One thing school must start doing now.
Policy. Very strong policy.
The policies like
Like AI and several other things. We're talking about AI, so they have to
uh-huh,
have everybody, every school must have an AI policy.
correct, sir. Teacher of the future, instructor or mentor?
Mentor, and more, moving more and more towards mentoring. Yeah.
Okay. Will exams disappear?
Never.
Eh? Why did you say
Yeah.
so, sir?
Never. See, we need to understand that there has to be a way of assessing what a child has done for us to move to the next level. Number one.
Correct.
Second is, eventually, if we were to take the, example of India, the number of kids who are passing out every year, literally in the millions, okay, 1.3, 1.4 odd millions, okay.
Correct.
Opportunities which are there, either a higher ed or a job, are limited, right? There has to be
Mm-hmm.
some way of assessing the children,
Correct.
and that will translate back from a higher level into a lower level. So exams will not disappear. It is a part of learning assessment. It's just standard. Has to be there.
AI will kill the creativity or it will develop the creativity.
It will amplify it. Whatever you have, good will get amplified, bad will also get amplified.
Okay. Most underrated skill for students today.
I would say discernment or critical thinking.
Okay. Screen time, enemy or ally?
Ally. I think it's an ally.
Ally. The final question. One word of advice for the parents.
Balance. It can't be fully do what you want to, laissez-faire, or fully ban, nothing at all. It has to be a balance. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Srinivasan.
Thank
It
you.
was such
Thank
a
you
nice
so much.
pleasure that the way you explained things to us. And as I said, we'll surely come to a climb, another talk
Yes,
show, chat show with you,
that's true.
where we will discuss the decorum that parents should understand.
Sure,
Things
sure.
about parents should understand so that knowledge for the parents to handle the child. But it was such a nice discussion, a healthy discussion, where we discussed about AI, the boon
Yeah.
or a bane. And
Thank
to
you.
start the new year 2026 with this particular topic gives us an advantage because
Yes.
examinations are coming around the corner.
Yeah.
So it was
Exactly.
my pleasure, along with Zena family, that we sat together and we had a nice chat on AI. And I'm sure to looking forward to you, where parents or whoever watches this particular
Yeah.
video on YouTube of ours will
Yeah.
surely love to understand it more better, for which we'll again be inviting you, sir. So
Definitely.
I,
It would be
Vishal
an
Saxena,
absolute
Dr.
pleasure.
Vishal Saxena with you. It was pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Vishal.
Bye-bye, sir. Namaskar.